I'm continuing with my after action videos from my deer and hog hunting trip late February, early March 2024. And in this video, I want to go over the winners and the losers, things that worked out, things that just did not work out. And the first thing I want to talk about is the knives that I use for processing the meat. I am blessed to be able to go hunt at this camp with some good friends, good old friends from years back, and every year I'm just grateful for the chance to do it. The actual owner of the camp is a butcher, a professional butcher, and so we have a pretty nice, if austere, butchering station. We got a walk-in freezer, we got everything, and there's a policy there. And I don't know if it's a written policy or it's just an unspoken thing that has developed over the years. But when you make a kill, you pretty much process it right then. Now I did kill a pig, uh, and it was cold, and we were trying to get in uh, the last deer of the season. We had one last uh, permit for a doe, and we were trying to get a doe. So it was end of the day. I shot a pig, and so I left the pig where he lay at this one place, and I hoofed it about a half a mile to another stand, hoping to get a deer before 30 minutes after sunset. Didn't get one. But other than things like that, we take our kills and we go process them immediately. And I have been bringing the last 2 years my own knives. And what I have here is the knives that I use when I'm processing my meat birds, my chicken. And if you're one of my five faithful, you've probably seen videos of me processing my chickens. And these are just cheap Walmart fishing fillet knives, cheap, soft metal. But I got a chance to talk with the butcher about my philosophy, and he affirmed it. He said basically, if you're going to have 3 or 6 of these soft metal knives pre-sharpened, then you can just get in there and go, and you don't have to stop to sharpen. And the nice thing about that is because they're soft metal, they sharpen quick. Now they dull quick, but they sharpen quick. And if you've got a bunch of them, because they're cheap, you can have a bunch of them. Then you can just keep on going. If you're processing one deer or one hog, chances are you can go through 6 knives, and not have to stop and sharpen. Now the knives he uses, good Lord, they look like Daniel Boone carried them, but they're great knives, and they're harder steel, so they take longer to sharpen, but they hold an edge longer. So I bought this on my way back from the hunting trip last year, and this did a good job. I need to clean it up. It's they all, of course, were wet, and I tried to dry them, but I see a little bit of rust on there. And this did a good job at skinning deer. Now, that hook is not going to touch a wild hog's uh, skin. So it's just, you need a heavy duty knife to get through that stuff. And that's just how it is. But once you got into processing the meat, got the skin off, these guys did a great job. And I really like the idea of just taking a bunch of cheap knives, sharpen them up before you start, have them sharpened, and just go to town. Now, I processed all my meat a little differently this year because I have had so much. I brought back 4 deer and 2 hogs. I did not have room to bring back the meat the way I used to do it, just still on the bone. I had to debone everything in order to get it all in the vehicle. So I spent about 5 hours processing those 4 deer and those 2 hogs, just processing them enough to get them off the bone, get all the meat that I wanted off the carcass, and get them into my ice chest. So I spent a lot of time processing meat this time, and I learned more every time. But the big winners was these cheap knives that you can sharpen and have ready to go. I took 3 this time. I'll probably take 5 or 6 next time. They're about $5 at Walmart. Now, a big loser was my pack system. Again, if you're one of my five faithful, you may remember I try a different pack system every year, just trying to find out what works. This pack was a failure. By itself, it was not big enough to carry the stuff I needed. And what I found myself doing was stealing stuff off of my chest rig and putting them on my pack. You might recognize this is usually on my chest rig. And I finally did come up with a system where, with what I had there, when I went out stalking, this is what I carried: binos, water, lighter, knife. But when I went out into the stands, or just keeping in my buggy, I ended up having this first aid kit. This was a possibles bag with all kind of stuff in it, and then my go-to, which is this Mosin pouch system, I think by Strike Hard. I don't know if they make it anymore, but it's great for carrying my rangefinder, my GPS, and then a mag or whatever else you want to put in there. Yeah, these side pockets that I added on helped, but I really was challenged to get everything I needed into this pack, and it was a real failure. And I will not be taking this pack again. I really think, unless I just come across a good pack that I want to try out, I think I'm going to be going back to the old Molly to either Patrol or Combat Assault pack. That's just a great pack. I love it in woodland, and I may be going back to that. But that was just a big failure there. I tried to go to a smaller pack and it just did not work out. A big winner was dummy cords. I always dummy cord the gear that I worry about losing, and if you're not into dummy cords, I suggest you try it. I have never lost an important piece of gear. I've lost a glove here or there, things like that. But the important things, I dummy cord and I don't lose them, and I really suggest that you look into dummy cords for especially for your electronics that you're always pulling out and putting back in. It just makes a lot of sense. This inexpensive little Bushnell Night Vision camera was a real winner, especially when I paired it up with this cheap SMS IR / laser light. I used this at night when I was stalking, so I would I would park as close as I could to maybe where some hogs were showing up on the cameras, and then I would walk in. And we're talking really dark. Although we did have a full moon, it was thankfully pretty cloudy. So you keep going farther in and farther in, and you keep throwing your rifle with a thermal scope up there, and it starts getting heavy. So I had this with me, and I had it, in this pouch right here on my chest rig. And so I would use it to see what was going on, and it really did a good job. And I was just really impressed with it, because I've only got about $200 in this combination. And really, this bad boy does a good job by itself. But when you pair it with another IR light, and it doesn't have to be that one, but you pair it with another IR light to really help it to reach out, it does a great job. So I was really happy with that. Another winner was these yellow or amber glasses. I thought I'd give them a try. I read that they really helped you in low light situations to see a little bit clearer, and I ended up wearing these almost all the time. Even though I took some dark glasses, I found that changing back and forth was a pain. These things hung around my neck most of the time, and sure enough, that 30 minutes after sunset and before sun up, these things made things crisp and clear, and I just really thought they were worth the money, and I'm happy I got them. These cheap little organizer bags that I got off Amazon, and there's all kind of brands, it doesn't matter. Now they're cheap, and I had one where the zipper exploded, but for the money, I thought they were really good. The zipper's really the only weak place. These are made out of some serious material that's pretty strong. And you might be able to find a brand that has better zippers, but I just bought some cheap ones, and they were really good for organizing. They're so cheap, and I had so many of them that I was able to just organize down to a degree I don't normally do, and it really helped a lot, and I'm glad I got those. And finally, this new Everready light that I got. Now I say new because I lost my old one, and I had to find another one. And you say, well, what's special about this? Here's what's special about this. On this light, the very first push gets you a red lens, or a red light rather. And that's really important when you're hunting, because you don't want to have to cycle through a white light to get to your red light. And when you push it a second time, it goes off. Now, if you need a white light, you just push it quickly in succession, and you get a really good white light. But the first click gets you a red light, and then you can turn it off and never endanger your position or ruin your night vision. That's just a great way to go. And these things, it was like 14 bucks. I mean, that's a great hunting light. I kept it on me all the time, either around my neck, or in the daytime it was in a pocket or a pouch. Just little things can make the hunt. So thanks for watching. This is just my little take of my winners and losers, and hopefully I get a little smarter every year, and my gear gets a little bit more usable and better for what I need. Hey, thanks for watching.